Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Infinite Knowledge is Power Blog Talk Radio Show. Phoenix Diamond, aka Michael Alpo, educator and researcher in pulse electromagnetic fields and spiritual ufology, will be your guide and host over the next 2 hours. Join us as we discuss how each one of your 100 trillion cells are affected by frequency, diet, environment, emotion, and spirit. And now your host and guide, Phoenix Diamond.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Infinite Knowledge is Power show. My name is Michael Alpo, aka Phoenix Diamond, and I am going to be your host today. Hold on here, what just happened? Hello. Oh, there you are. Okay. All right. So this is our second show that we're doing live here, and we've decided that we're going to keep moving along and going to video here. And so this is where we're going to be here. So I want to hold on here for a second because I'm going to blank this out when I record here. So just hold on, everybody. Here. I'm going to keep talking. We have, here we go. There we go. All right. Much better. Okay. So the output is here and the input is test 1, 2. Okay. The output is, there we go. All right. I think we've got that straight here. All right. So today we're going to have a really incredible show today. We've had Dr. Mary O'Brien on before, and we're going to have her on today again. And she is one of the brilliant minds that's out there. And so I want to read you her biography here, and then we're going to bring her on to discuss some amazing topics. Dr. Mary Ellen O'Brien has been involved in healthcare since 1975, when she graduated from Mercy College in Detroit, Michigan, with a Bachelor's of Science degree in nursing. Her work as a nurse included 2 years in the Peace Corps in Guatemala. She later continued her education at the University of Kentucky and the Frontier Nursing Service in Hayden, Kentucky. She received a Master of Science degree in nursing while also becoming a family nurse practitioner and nurse midwife. She worked for 10 years in an out-of-hospital birthing center in Brownsville, Texas. While practicing there, she cared for many pregnant women and delivered several hundred babies. Because of her interest in natural medicine, she moved to Arizona to attend postgraduate school at the Southwest College of Naturopathic Medicine. Dr. O'Brien graduated with highest honors from the naturopathic program and studied an extra year for a specialty in acupuncture. Dr. O'Brien has had a private family practice in Tempe, Arizona for 18 years, providing naturopathic care to all ages. Please give a warm welcome for Dr. Mary O'Brien.
Hi, Michael.
Hello, Dr. O'Brien. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing really fine. I want to thank you again. You know, we've changed the format here since the last time that you and I were together. We were on the Blog Talk Radio, and I had a number of technical issues with the company, and so some of my shows actually didn't record it, although yours did get recorded and really got rave reviews. I got a lot of questions from people who were very interested in what you left us off with, and that is that the biggest concern right now is the generation coming up with a number of different immune diseases. And I know this is a real mouthful to start with, but I'd like to discuss some of the issues that I think, and I'd like to comment on just to start with, on what I think has been a cause of that, and whether or not if you want to add in it. Now, one of the things that this generation has been raised in microwave ovens. Now,
Yes.
and the microwave age is really prevalent, and I just think that's had an effect. Would you agree?
Yes, microwave as well as all the electromagnetic fields from computers and cell phones and all of those things.
Well, specifically, microwave ovens. Now, microwave ovens have been around since the 70s, as far as I know. I remember us getting our first one when I was a kid, and I literally stuck my face right up against it. Now, I'm understanding that one of the major side effects of microwave oven is glaucoma, and that that microwaves, by the way, since I'm a pulse electromagnetic frequency expert, I have a lot of different gadgets that measure microwaves, and literally on a normal, regular microwave, Dr. O'Brien, the microwaves extend 30 feet out from a microwave oven in a full circle. And so now when you have homes that are near you, apartment complexes, and everyone is using microwave ovens in particular, that basically everyone is in a microwave field, and this is what I'm feeling that is causing them part of the major thing of the immune dysfunction in the body.
Well, definitely the frequencies could be affecting the frequencies within the body. I know I've chosen not to have microwave in my office or in my home, but like you said, if it extends 30 feet, that's a long way. You could be getting it from somebody else's.
Yes, and not even know it. You see, this is really the major epidemic that's going on, and this is just one. The next one is Wi-Fi frequencies. I'll get into cell phone here a little bit, but now a hertz. The Earth operates at 7.3 hertz, somewhere around there. When you walk on the Earth, basically that's, and then the normal frequency of the human is about 7.3 hertz, which matches the Earth, which tells you our connection to the Earth. Okay, so now a megahertz is 500,000 hertz. Okay, so now a Wi-Fi frequency is 8,500 megawatts. Okay, so your house is sitting in a house that has an 8,500 megawatt frequency coming down on your cells. Okay, again, the generation that is coming up has been raised on Wi-Fi frequency, literally from the beginning of when they're born.
Right.
You see,
at home as well as at school.
Yes. Now, have you been hearing that children have been having real issues? They put Wi-Fi in from kindergarten on up. Okay, I mean, there's been so many issues now has been going on because of Wi-Fi frequencies. And also the Wi-Fi frequencies are in hospitals. You have sick people in hospitals, and yet they're bathing in this type of a frequency. Now, when you put kids, this generation, Dr. O'Brien, have been raised basically with a cell phone in their hand from the moment they could carry one. So kids now are getting their cell phone at their head, their poor little bitty heads, putting a microwave oven up to your head, and these microwaves go out about 6 inches. So when a child has the cell phone up against their head, you're literally frying the brain. And now let me just say what a microwave does, ladies and gentlemen. Here's what a microwave does. A microwave goes into your brain, goes into the cell, and explodes the cell from the inside out. You see? So those cells are no longer viable. They don't exist anymore. So microwaves consistently kill cells that don't regrow. And so this has been my point, and Dr. O'Brien sprang it forth from me on my last radio shows. This was my whole deal, that I had been predicting that the youth are going to have more problems than people who are supposed to be having them at their 60s and 70s. And so now, could we talk about some of the issues that's going on with the young people growing up that you've been seeing?
Well, I don't see a lot of teenagers in my practice, but I'm seeing people in their 20s and 30s, and I'm definitely seeing higher rates of immune problems. Some of them autoimmune, some people just with immune deficiency, just from all their different exposures and lifestyle habits. The diets, the toxins they're exposed to. And as a result, many children, teenagers, and adults are on much more medication, which obviously is going to affect their health over time as well. And unfortunately, with medications, people say that they have good effects and they have side effects, but truly they're not side effects. They are truly effects of the medicine. It's just when people call them side effects, it's just the effects they don't want to have from the medicines. But they are truly the full effect of medications. When people don't feel well on medications, it means that it's weakening the system in some way. And as a result, we see more people with illnesses that, even the diabetes is much more prevalent in teenagers now. The metabolic syndrome or the diabetes type 2. Their livers are being affected from this at an early age. So what their lifespan is going to be like when they're already at a young age starting to have some organ damage. And that's a problem, to have organ damage when you're very young, because those organs are supposed to last you many, many years. But if you've damaged them at an early age, then they're not going to help you live to a full lifespan of 70 or 80 or 90. I was just listening to a webinar, and the doctor was saying with what we know about how to take care of the body, people should be living to 100. But that's only if people learn what they can do to take care of themselves and utilize the information and what we're learning about taking care of the body.
Dr. Bryan, for those who really don't know, could you explain the autoimmune system? See, everyone thinks it's like a ghost in the body that flies around. And could you explain how the autoimmune system works? Well,
the term autoimmune is actually when your immune system's working against you.
Okay.
So typically our immune system involves several areas of the body. So we have a thymus gland as part of our immune system, our lymph nodes, our spleen, our tonsils, are all part of our immune system. Our bone marrow inside the bones, where we produce a lot of the red blood cells and white blood cells. And the immune system is there to protect us from abnormal things that come into our body. So say we are exposed to viruses or bacteria or even some things that we're not sure what to call them. Mycoplasma is somewhere similar to a bacteria, but smaller than a bacteria. So there's different organisms that the immune system is supposed to identify and identify them as foreign and then get rid of them. But when our immune system becomes weakened and no longer can identify things as foreign, then the body doesn't get rid of these things. Just like with cancer cells. If the body can't recognize the cancer cells in time, then the cancer cells start multiplying. And then by the time there's so many of them, the immune system is unable to get rid of them. So essential to our health is keeping a strong immune system. And that means not overexerting or over tiring the body, and providing the nutrients and the foods and the rest and the relaxation that the body needs in order to keep that immune system strong so that it can continue to see things that are foreign and get rid of them. Now, when it becomes an autoimmune problem, certain things have stimulated the immune system in a way. It could have been a virus, it could have been a food sensitivity, stimulated the immune system to make antibodies. And when the immune system makes some of these antibodies, sometimes the immune system gets confused and sees part of the body as something foreign and then starts attacking it. Now, why does it see the body part as foreign? Some of the theory is because that organ has become toxic and no longer looks like a normal human organ. So say the thyroid has gotten exposed to lead or mercury or pesticides or other toxins that are now in the thyroid, the immune system sees that thyroid as foreign because of these toxicities. And the immune system can actually attack the cells of the thyroid, and that becomes an autoimmune disease. So then the thyroid can't function fully on its own, or it's starting to function less and less, so the person doesn't feel well. The thyroid doesn't work at 90 or 100%. The person's going to start feeling side effects from not having the right amount of thyroid hormone. And that can happen in any organ in the body. In fact, it seems to be there's even probably more autoimmune diseases, that organs in our body that are not working properly because our immune system is actually working against them because of the toxicities that our bodies have inside them. And some of this we don't even know how to test for right now. So some of these adrenal glands, there could be an autoimmune process happening against the adrenal glands, but we don't typically test for that. Most doctors don't even know if there's how many possible tests are out there, because there's just so many new illnesses coming about quickly that it's hard to keep up with knowing if there's even lab tests to check for some things. Now, the thyroid autoimmune disease called Hashimoto's, that is fairly common, and we do know how to test for that. But unfortunately, many doctors still don't do the proper testing to discover if somebody's got Hashimoto's going on.
What's Hashimoto? What's Hashimoto, doctor?
Excuse me?
Hashimoto.
Hashimoto's. That's the name of the autoimmune disease where the body's actually making antibodies that are attacking the person's own thyroid. And in that process, the thyroid cells get destroyed so that it's not functioning properly. So I'm not sure what percent. They're saying anywhere from 1 to 20% of people have thyroid problems, and the majority of those have Hashimoto's. It's really quite prevalent. But if many of the doctors aren't checking for it, there's a lot of people going untreated because they don't know they have this. But they could have fatigue, and they could have difficulty losing weight. They could have hair loss. They could have anxiety. There's a number of symptoms of Hashimoto's. And sometimes people have to actually look online to find doctors who can really know how and treat illnesses like that. So that's an important thing for people to know, that if they think they might have a thyroid problem and they're going to a regular medical doctor and they're not thoroughly testing their thyroid, they may not be testing them for Hashimoto's. So that's why people need to, continue to educate themselves, because, if they have health problems and the regular doctor says, well, all your lab tests are normal, the person needs to investigate on their own until they can discover what else might be going on, or finding another doctor, a naturopathic physician, or another type of doctor that is willing to screen them for some of these illnesses.
Dr. O'Brien, if you were to, is it difficult to work with a medical doctor? Is there, if it just seems that there's a conflict, because the medical doctor wants to tell you to take a medication, and it sounds to me more like you're saying you must be proactive in your life, in your own health, and that as a naturopath, you help assist, you help them keep going forward in their health, as opposed to automatically giving someone a prescription med and saying this is going to cover a multitude of sins. I mean, that seems
right.
Right.
Yes, in fact, sometimes we do have to use medication, but that's not the only thing we would have someone do. We're always educating them that even if they need a medication, it may not be a permanent one, but either way, they still may have to change their diet, they may have to change their lifestyle as far as their exercise habits and their relaxation habits and their sleep habits. I have many people that say they're night owls and they like to stay up to 2 or 3 in the morning. Well, we know the body needs a certain amount of rest, because during the night, the body has to replenish and regenerate itself. And if we don't give it time to do that, then there's no way our organs can function at an optimal rate if we're not providing the time for the body to regenerate during the night.
That's a good subject here. I'd like to talk a little bit about sleep, since I have you on this subject, because there's 3 or 4 ways about sleeping. My understanding, you get 6 to 8 hours of sleep at night is the best thing to do. Fall asleep before midnight. Back in the day, people would go to bed when the sun went down, and when the sun came back up, that's supposed to be the optimum. I've heard that you can do 4 hours, like a 4-hour, 2 times a day, which I've done, by the way. I've done them all. I mean, having worked nights forever, which I don't think that's good, by the way. I think the worst thing you can do is work nights. You should sleep. sometime during the day. I would like some suggestions to people that you would think if they're having, let's just say if I asked you, Dr. Brian, I come in and I go, Dr. Brian, I can't seem to sleep at night. What would you recommend? What would you say to somebody first?
Well, first of all, we tell them they need to start slowing things down in the evening. Some people should not be on their computer in too late in the evening. So some people's nervous system just needs to start calming down earlier than other people. So they may need to stay away from the TV and the computer screen for an hour or two before they go to bed. So maybe doing some reading or listening to the radio or listening to music. Some people actually need to take a warm shower, a warm bath to really relax. So people need to get to know themselves and know, what kinds of things are going to help calm their whole nervous system down, so that the brain gets the message that it's okay to relax and to go to sleep. Some people, I highly recommend most people do some kind of meditation. And most people would benefit from taking a meditation class or a yoga class that would help them learn how to relax and do some meditation in the evening. There are some herbal types of things. Chamomile tea is helpful for people to relax. But for a lot of people, it's relaxing the mind. For some people, they just have to gradually, if they're used to staying up till 1 or 2 at night, then they gradually need to work back, going to bed half hour earlier and another week later, another half hour earlier, kind of gradually helping their body and mind get used to the change. Because many studies have showed that getting to bed before midnight, those hours of sleep before midnight, are beneficial. And for most people, probably 7 to 8 hours of sleep are what we need to fully regenerate the body. Now, some people get used to less sleep than that, but it may not actually be optimal for them. So finding ways to help the body relax so that it can stay in a nice sleep for 7 hours would be definitely beneficial for most people.
Yes, I'll just add to you some of the things that, because I have clients myself who always want to know they're not sleeping. And I always bring it back to PMF. Since I'm a kind of frequency expert here, another thing I would suggest is if you sleep in a room that has electronic devices going, like a computer, especially a computer, and if you've got Wi-Fi going on in your room, you disconnect it. Okay, just put it back in the morning. A lot of people say that, well, I can't sleep at night because I drink water. I go, well, why don't you stop drinking water 2 or 3 hours before you go to bed? That way you don't get up. You'll go to the bathroom before you go to bed, and then you won't have to go to the bathroom for the rest of the night. So you can sleep straight through. Some people have that issue. Also, pitch black your room. Don't have any lights on. Turn every light, turn those little bitty lights that come off of your Wi-Fi thing, and turn those lights off. Have your curtains on your wall, black curtains, so that when the daylight comes in, you're still in the dark. You see, once your body once it gets in the dark, what's that? Melatonin, doctor, that starts to make you put you to sleep, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Melatonin is one of the things that helps. Yes.
Yes. So that, you can we just gave you like 300 suggestions on how to do it. Now let's talk about the guy who's just the opposite of all that, which is probably me. So, I mean, I'm someone who will work out before I go to bed because I have had no time to work out. So for those of you who have those kind of issues where you are like literally working till it's time for you to go to bed, then that's when you need to know how to use these tools. You know, I know how to relax my body. Okay. I know how to do the meditation. I know how to close my mind. And then of course, turn off all the electrical appliances, make sure that the curtain's dark so that when the light comes up, I'm still sleeping. Each person has to get to know them. And that's why I have Dr. O'Brien on here. We're getting ready to go into the break here, but I want to talk about some of the things that you're doing in your office, Dr. O'Brien. When somebody first comes in, where you kind of take them through, because I really want to introduce for everyone that you must take a natural path to your health, and that's why we have Dr. O'Brien, the natural path, here. And we're very honored to have you here, Doctor, because you have some great insights. So we're going to take a break here. We'll be back in just a few minutes here. I'm going to put you on mute, Dr. O'Brien. Grab yourself a glass of water, and we'll be back in about 4 minutes.
I'm on mute for 4 minutes.
Welcome back to the Infinite Knowledge is Power Show with your host, Michael Alpo, aka Phoenix Diamond. All opinions expressed by Michael Alpo and guests are strictly for educational and entertainment purposes only. The IKP Show is here to stimulate conversation and has no political, religious, or any misleading agenda towards the audience. What you do with the information is completely your responsibility. Now, back to the IKP Show.
And welcome back to the IKP Show. My name is Michael Alpo, aka Phoenix Diamond. I have Dr. Mary O'Brien out of Phoenix. She's in Tempe, Arizona, and we have her on the show. And we want to appreciate her for coming on and spending some time with us. Dr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Hey, there you are. How are you doing again?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I am doing just fine. I'm just, the whole thing with everyone out there, Dr. O'Brien, and in my whole life, my whole family, everyone is with the medical doctor on what the medical doctor says. and never questions one thing. Listen, I don't have anything against the medical field. I mean, really, I don't. It's not that if somebody, the insurance, there is some things that covers, that's good. If I wanted you to know, if I broke my leg, I definitely want to go to an orthopedic guide or to put my leg back together. Okay.
That's right.
And so there is good thing. I will say this. I know that the American Medical Association is based on trauma medicine, on trauma. Okay. Why? Because we are a war country. We go to war. We blow up legs. And so the trauma-based is what the medical practice is based on. And so, again, if I break my leg, that's where I want to go. But here, I will tell you, let me just tell you how much money I've spent on a medical doctor in the last 20 years. Wait a second. Hold on a second. I got to count. How many pennies was that? Hold on a second. Wait a minute. I think that was 12 pennies. Actually, 12 pennies. I think I've spent on. It might have been. Okay. We'll say 15 cents. Okay, I've spent. But for the natural, someone like Dr. O'Brien, who's worth your money to invest in, because why? It is an investment in yourself. When you go see a naturopath, it's an investment in yourself. When you go see a medical doctor, well, you're going to be, it has to be covered in insurance, or you're going to be in some type of pharmaceutical. And this is my little last rant here on pharmaceuticals. Dr. O'Brien will attest. It is not so much what the medication does for you. It's the side effects, what comes with the medication. And if you'll notice, all of you who are on some type of medication, and usually by the time you're 50, you're on something. So it's the side effects. So when you get any kind of a medication, please check the side effects. Okay, that's the main thing I wanted to tell you. So on this, our next section here, I would really like to go into some of the, since a lot of you probably have never been to a naturopath, I would like, so if you go in, you want to get a physical and thing, I want to ask Dr. O'Brien to just take us through what she does when a patient comes in to see her. So take it from there, Dr. O'Brien, and thank you again for being here and being patient with us.
Okay. Well, when a patient comes in to see me, we're going to go over their health history, because I'm listening the whole time to pick up the clues to what is some of the root causes of what's going on for them. So I have them talk about the symptoms that they have, and we look at, well, when did they start, and what kind of stresses were going on in their life around that time, or other illnesses that they might have had during that time. Because we're looking at what kind of stress, whether it be emotional or physical stress, that might be affecting their immune system in some way. So my first visit with somebody is an hour and a half, because we're looking at all the symptoms that the person has now, as well as all the list of problems they've had in their life. So I go back even to their childhood and what kind of illnesses they are. Sometimes I can pick up that somebody's been, has had several viruses already. So somebody might have told me that as a child they had chickenpox, and then as a teenager they had mono. And then later on they had a bad flu that lasted a week or 2 weeks. So I'm already picking up that that person is susceptible to viruses. And so the initial history takes a good while, because we really want the details about what that person is doing. And then I look at their lifestyle. So I'm having them tell me about their diet and what kind of exercise habits they have, and what kind of sleep habits, what kind of stresses are going on in their home or their work or their school. So I'm looking at every aspect of what's going on in their life, because there's, when somebody has a headache, headache is not just a pain. It's not just a symptom that's appearing by itself. There's always something that's the root cause, whether it be stress or it be a food allergy or a toxic thing that the person's been exposed to, that the body is not dealing with in a good way. So I'm listening to what things have helped the person in the past, because some people already know that they can't eat certain foods, or they know which foods really they feel better with, or people know if I have a lot of people who come in and they say, I can't tolerate even one alcohol drink because I'm so sick right away. So right away, I know that they probably have a liver that's not working 100%. Or maybe genetically, they were born with a liver that's just not as efficient as somebody else's liver. So we're looking for all those clues of what is making this person more susceptible to certain things, or what was more likely to have led them up to where they are now with the kind of symptoms that they have now. So first is really looking at all those pieces of information and getting to know the person. So I know what kind of personality they have. Are they an easygoing person, or are they kind of an irritable person? Are they somebody that gets along with people, or do they have a hard time getting along with people? So all those pieces of information help in knowing what kind of treatments are going to work for them the best. And once we've identified some of the problems and some of the possible causes, then we might have to do some testing to see, okay, is there something else that we could find out on a lab test? So I do have people do some lab tests. Sometimes we're doing some saliva tests to check their adrenals. Sometimes we're doing food sensitivity tests. Sometimes we're doing hormone tests. So depending on the age of the person, then there's different tests that I might want to do based on their age and knowing what their hormone levels might be doing at that particular age. So we're gathering information. So the gathering information part can take a visit or two sometimes to really pull all that information. Sometimes we have to do some imaging tests. Like sometimes I might want somebody to have an ultrasound of their thyroid, or some type of x-ray, or something to give us some more clues on what's going on. And then we get into different kinds of treatments that, from the beginning, I'm always talking about diet. And, it appears for many people, the 3 top foods that can be problems for people are sugar, wheat, and dairy. So I'm looking for, how much do they eat those things in their diet. So even while we're waiting for tests to come back, I'm probably giving them some things to start doing at home, whether it be change a few things with their diet, or drink more water, or start exercising more, or getting an extra hour of sleep. Some other things we might have them do, I might have them start looking into earthing, where they're connecting with the energy from the earth more, spending more time with family. So there's many things that we can start having people do before we even know for sure what all the problems are. And then from a natural point of view, then we try to support the body to help the body's own natural abilities to heal. So again, getting enough sleep, eating the right foods. There's many herbal products and many herbal things that we know, plants, and that we know can be beneficial to give more nutrients, and actually plants that help give more energy to the body. Then I have other modalities that I'll use for people who come in for different kinds of pain or problems, where we might be using acupuncture to help to stimulate the body into a better balance, or using lasers or the PMF machine to help bring up the energy of the body. Because many people's energy has become very depleted from all the health issues or all the toxicity in the environment, and we're having to rebuild the body in ways, and that's when things like PEMF can be helpful to raise the energy level, as well as the acupuncture.
Well, let me interrupt you there. Let me interrupt you just a second there, Dr. O'Brien. I wanted to touch on the PMF here. Dr. O'Brien mentioned about the energy of the cell, and that, ladies and gentlemen, that you are an electric being. You're not blood and bone, you're electric. And when your cells are fatigued, your body can be depressed, you see, and this can lead to a plethora of things for you. Now, first of all, on behalf of all those who've been to a doctor and have felt like when you talk to a doctor and they respond to you, here's how they hear you. Okay, here's how they hear you. Yes. I hear you. You see that here's Dr. Mary O'Brien actually listening. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my point on having Dr. O'Brien here, is I wanted you to hear a doctor say, I am listening to you. I am listening. I am actually, let's make a plan together to get you better. Okay. If you say you go into the medical doctor and you say, well, I have this plan, the doctor is going to go, what? No, ma'am. Okay. So thank you so much, Dr. O'Brien. Number one, for listening to your patients to come in and to create a plan. And as you can hear her, she has many, many natural ways for people to get better. It's obvious that Dr. O'Brien hears 20 or 30 different things that the person says, and she might be able to make a suggestion as something as simple as you need to get more sleep and stop drinking before you go to bed. You see, it could be something as simple as that, as opposed to first and foremost giving you pharmaceuticals. Now, Dr. O'Brien, I want you to continue on here, but I would like for you to give us your website, your phone number, your hours, and just maybe your email address or however you want, so that people can get a hold of you and you can start helping more people.
Sure. So I'm located in Tempe, Arizona, and my website is www.drm, as in Mary, EOBRIEN @gmail.com. And so my phone number and location are on the website. And the office phone number, 480-491-1716.
Could you say your website one more time, Dr. O'Brien?
Yes, it's www.dr for doctor, DRME O'Brien, OBRIEN gmail.com.
No, that's your website. That's your email address.
Oh, that's email. Sorry, just no Gmail, just the .com.
Okay, so it's DRME O'Brien.com.
.com.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. I just want to make sure that we get that plugged in.
And usually, for the most part, we're open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So I'm off on Thursdays. That's when I do some of my catch-up work or investigating into things that I want to learn more about for my patients.
Or be on my show. Thank you so much.
Or be on the show.
So let's I only have a few more minutes with you here. So I'd like to get some final thoughts. Anything that you think is going on that we should know about coming up? I just want to give you a few minutes to just comment on whatever it is you want to comment on, Dr. O'Brien.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think people nowadays have so many opportunities to learn that I'm just hoping that people will use those opportunities, and get on their computers or their the libraries or anywhere they have access to learn more about how they can participate in their health. Because obviously the majority of the work has to be done by the person. I can be the coach and I can be the doctor to help point things out and teach. But the person themselves has to be the one that's proactive and taking on the responsibility of changing their diet or changing when they get to bed or, changing their attitude to being a positive attitude towards the people around them, towards their work environment, towards, and really for each person finding what gives them joy, what gives them passion, what is it they like to learn, what is it they like to do. Because we know people without joy and without passion are more likely to have illnesses. So each person needs to expose themselves to all the possibilities of things they could be doing in this world. I've listened a lot to Wayne Dyer, who's no longer with us, but he said that there's a whole creation out there, and it's up to us to determine which part of creation we are going to experience. So there's 100 different things out there we could do, and if we only learn about 2 of them, then we think that's all we can do. But if we let ourselves learn about 20 or 30 or 40, then it opens up our whole world view, our whole perception of what's possible in our lives. So I think some of it is having people learn to open up their minds and open up their willingness to look at all of the good things around us and the things that could give us joy, and really exploring the things that do give them purpose and joy.
Well, we really appreciate your time here, Dr. O'Brien, and that was very, very inspirational what you just said. Really, everyone, our studio audience really appreciates you being here. Dr. O'Brien, thank you for taking your day off and part of your day off to be with us. We'd sure like to have you back again because your words just mean everything. What she's saying, everybody, is take responsibility for your body. She'll help you take responsibility for your body. Take a look at her website, drmeobrien.com. She's in the Tempe area, and she's somebody you should go see. Dr. O'Brien, thank you so much. I'll definitely be talking to you again and be begging you to come back on my show again, okay?
Okay, Michael, it was a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Dr. O'Brien. Have a wonderful evening. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. that was Dr. Mary O'Brien. Really, ladies and gentlemen, we're lucky to have her. She's one of the most, I've met her, and she's a really, really sweet person. Yes, our body, you know, you can help yourself sleep better, you know. You can always use what old W.C. Fields used to say.
The best cure for insomnia is to get a lot of sleep.
There you have it. The best cure for insomnia is to get a lot of sleep. Then you won't have insomnia. Okay. So I'm going to close out here on just a few more thoughts here about responsibility of your own body. Listen, you know as well as I know, if you depend on somebody else to do your own business, usually it doesn't get done as well as when you do it. Is that right? So now when you decide that you're going to take your body in your own hand, that is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do that. Or what could happen? Could blow up right in your face. And that's the last thing that you want to do, is to not be active in the result of how your body's going to take you. The internet, books, there's so many, so much information out there to give you just cause to get better. Movement.
Maybe this world is another planet's hell.
Don't make your body become what I would call a living hell for yourself. You really want to give yourself the opportunity to be the best. Okay. We're going to close up here. But we're going to be back. I have so many more guests to give you. Thanks for being patient with me. Thanks for giving me all the love that's needed to be done.
You are entering the dimension of the infinite.
You're leaving the
Knowledge
dimension.
Power Show with your host, Michael Alpo. Funky, hip, flashy.
Yes, I am funky, hip. I'm also very serious when it comes to the body that we have been given to. And I want to make sure that your body is doing right, okay? So I'm sending out love to all my loved ones. We'll see you next week. I'll have all the guest lists here for you. I will be back, no matter how much technical difficulties I have.
Now it's the Michael Show, sponsored by Electromeds. He will let you know all the healthy things that we should follow. So it's the PEM and Radio Alpo Show. Let's go. The Infinite Knowledge is Power Show.
Signing off.